Howdy, folks. Kevin here. Monday Cigar and Whiskey Talk. Got a little Alec Bradley collection here that I'm going to pull a cigar out of, if I can actually operate the Ziploc. And what do we got going on here? What is this? This is an Alec Bradley post-embargo blend code B15. I can't say that I've had one of these before. So, we're going to go with that. And y'all know what I'm going to talk about. You got to wonder how many times the bear can be poked. Now, I'm probably not going to talk much about that. And yeah, I'm going to talk about Charlie Kirk and the situation surrounding all that kind of stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know anything more about it than most of the people who are commentating on the internet right now. You've got tons and tons of people out there with conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory. And I always tell everybody when they've got a conspiracy theory stuck up their butt, this is the one thing you got to ask: what is to be gained by lying about those? Now, if you believe that there's something to be gained by either misrepresenting the situation, or misrepresenting the parties involved, or misrepresenting whatever you want to misrepresent about the situation, then what's to be gained? It's one of those. I'll be honest with you. I have watched hundreds upon hundreds of hours of Charlie Kirk videos. And the one thing that the left is accusing him of is being hateful and spreading hate and doing all kinds of hate and discontent and all that kind of stuff. The one thing that was consistent is he was never nearly as vitriolic as the folks he was talking about. If somebody was lying about something, he would say, "You're lying." If someone is interrupting him, he said, "Don't interrupt me. I'm going to let me make my point." And this was generally after they were interrupting him 14 times, and he shut them down because they said, "Well, you're interrupting me. I'm not interrupting you. You asked your question. Let me answer the question." All right. And we're going to hit a little bit of this Starlight Distillery Applejack. Got a piece of tobacco in my mouth. All right, back to this. I'm sure y'all know now that Charlie Kirk was assassinated last week. A lot of people are getting online and saying, "This is not an assassination. He wasn't a government official or anything like that." All right, you can call it murder. You can call it assassination. Assassination generally means I planned all this stuff and I went out and killed somebody on purpose. All right, I said the word. We're not supposed to say it anymore. We're supposed to say unalived, like it means something different. Anyhow, I'm not going to get into the specifics, and I'm definitely not going to do a frame-by-frame analysis of all the videos and all that kind of stuff in there, like a lot of people are doing. Well, this guy brought a gun in here. Where's the gun in the video? It's one of those. Doesn't matter where the gun in the video. Well, it's almost impossible to disassemble that thing in the field. I got bad news for you. Most bolt-action rifles, you can pull the receiver and barrel assembly off of the stock with 3 screws, usually. 2 in the trigger assembly and 2 in the and 1 in the forestock. Usually. Not all. And I'll be honest with you, this particular rifle, I don't think I've ever handled the version that they talk about. I was watching a supposed forensic expert talk about this and talk about, well, you know, that was a weapon of war. It was developed for war. It was all this. It's got a big, heavy, robust wooden stock and all that. Yes, the original ones did. The newer versions that are made for sport hunting or sport shooting They don't all have wooden stocks. Some of them got polymer. Some of them, they've got, there's a lot of different things. And the picture that the authorities showed of supposedly the rifle they recovered didn't have a big heavy wooden stock like the old World War II or whatever version of the old Mauser was. And I don't know. Did he pre-stage the weapon? Was it already there when he got there? I don't know. Did he actually break it in half and stick it in the backpack that he was wearing? I don't know. But everybody's going, that's a 40-inch weapon. It's one of those, not a 40-inch weapon. You take the stock off of the barrel and receiver assembly, and it goes from 40-something to 20-something, which most backpacks will carry a 20-inch thing. And we don't know. I don't know. The folks that are armchair quarterbacking don't know. Well, they will readily tell you that they do know. Well, there's no way that the guy could have made this shot. It was only 200 yards with a nice with the hunting rifle that's made to shoot that far. He gave us an elevated position because he couldn't even see Charlie. He couldn't even see Charlie because Charlie was under an awning. It was 200 yards away on a 15-foot tall. This building that they showed was a 2-story building, but the second story was like on top of the first floor, but didn't take up the whole footprint of the first floor. And supposedly he was there. All right. So even if he was on top of that second thing, that was 30 feet. All right. And 200 yards away. Shooting into supposedly an amphitheater. At a seated target under a 7-foot high canopy from 200 yards away. You know, the angle's about like that. I'm pretty sure he could see what he was shooting at. I don't consider this a high-speed precision shot the way they're describing it. All right? Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. They haven't listed the guy as a pro shooter, but they also say he's not a pro shooter. Or they also don't say that he's not a pro shooter. There's all kinds of here we go with the second. There was a second shooter. He was in the crowd. Now there's a crowd of thousands. Nobody in the crowd of thousands reported the guy next to him shooting at something, or the guy in front of him, or the guy behind him, or the gal behind him, or any of those things. Got this forensic guy talking online. Well, you know, what's scary about this is he shot right over the heads of hundreds of people to do this stuff. From where you just said was an elevated position. So it wasn't like he was shooting over the top of their heads. Looked like he was shooting 10 feet over their heads. 200 yards with a 30-06. So, but I'm not really going to get into that. So I wasn't there. I haven't seen any data. I haven't seen any of the pictures other than what they put on news and then took down. There's a lot of theories out there. One of them said, well, the shot was at an upward angle. And then another theory said, well, he was wearing body armor and it ricocheted off the body armor. A lot of people say, no, couldn't ricochet straight up on that. I don't know. I've been shooting since I was about 8. Maybe a little younger. I've seen some bullets do some weird stuff bouncing off a hard surface, or even bouncing off a soft surface. So I'm not going to say he did or didn't. Here's the facts. Somebody shot Charlie Kirk. It was definitely politically motivated. This is a guy who got right up to people who with different views and had a discussion with them and had talked to them and never touted violence, never did all those kind of things. He said it happened. And he was against all that stuff. But he did it from the conservative values and Christian values and said certain things are wrong, certain things are right, I don't believe you should be doing this stuff. Now, none of that stuff was true of the people he talked to. None of that's true of the liberal leadership who for the last several years have been telling people to go out and riot and do this and acts of civil disobedience, and you need to get up in people's faces. You need to take it to the streets. Now, they actually told their followers to do that. Now that they're doing it, they're going, well, this doesn't have anything to do with us. It does have something to do with you. Your followers are listening to you because a lot of your followers are nuts. And they don't know any better. I could go on like this, right? I could go on like this for a really long time. But it's one of those things where everybody's predicting a civil war. Everybody's predicting this. Everybody's predicting the government crackdowns are going to happen. And now the preppers are going insane. The survival guys are going insane. Everybody's going insane. All the conspiracy theory folks are going insane. Is this the act that is the final poke of the bear? I don't know. But eventually the bear gets tired of being poked. Now, I'm sure there are things that I missed. Like right now, it comes to mind that somebody showed a picture zoomed in on the stage of some guy holding something under his arm, and they say it's a gun, and they say that he was the actual shooter. Only one problem: he was on the opposite side of the impact on the stage, or right by the stage, and that would have been one of those curved bullet shots, because he was on the opposite side from where the impact supposedly happened. I don't know. Y'all need to calm down, and you need to ask yourself, when you think it's a conspiracy, just ask yourself, what's to be gained by who, and what's the point of lying about it? Now, you can make up stuff, and you say, well, they just want us to know. No. Facts. We deal in facts. Is there something to be gained? I don't know. Hope to see y'all in the woods. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'd do it again. And you guys have seen me do the Applejack before. So, I'd do it again. Y'all have a good one.